The life of Cleopatra VII. Egypt's last pharaoh Cleopatra VII Philopator, often simply known as Cleopatra, remains one of the most captivating figures in ancient history. She ruled Egypt from 51 BC until her death in 30 BC, and her life has been the subject of countless works of art, literature, and scholarship. Her legacy as both a political leader and a symbol of beauty, intelligence, and tragedy continues to fascinate the world. Her reign occurred during a tumultuous period for both Egypt and Rome. A time when the Roman Empire was expanding its influence and Egypt's traditional power was in decline. As Egypt's last pharaoh, Cleopatra navigated a complex political landscape with remarkable intelligence, charm, and cunning, cementing her place in history as one of the most enigmatic and powerful women in antiquity. In this article, we will explore Cleopatra's life in detail, from her early years as a princess to her rise to power, her political and personal relationships, her reign over Egypt, and her ultimate demise. We will also examine the cultural and historical significance of Cleopatra's life and how she has been remembered and mythologized through the centuries. 1. Early life and ascension to the throne. Cleopatra was born in 69 BC, likely in Alexandria, Egypt, to Ptolemy XII or Lates, the king of Egypt, and an unknown mother. Possibly one of Ptolemy's wives or a concubine. Cleopatra belonged to the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek royal family that had ruled Egypt since the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BC. The Ptolemies were of Macedonian Greek descent, and while they ruled Egypt, they were culturally Greek, not Egyptian. This fact would play an important role in Cleopatra's life as she navigated the complexities of both Greek and Egyptian politics. Cleopatra's early years were marked by political instability. Her father, Ptolemy XII, had been unpopular with the Egyptian people, and his reign was marked by corruption and mismanagement. In 58 BC, he was overthrown in a revolt. But he regained the throne with Roman assistance in 55 BC. Cleopatra was likely aware of the dangers of her position from a young age, as her father's reign was anything but secure, and the looming power of Rome was always a threat. Upon the death of Ptolemy XII in 51 BC, Cleopatra ascended to the throne at the age of 18, co-ruling with her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII, who was about 10 years old. According to Egyptian tradition, Cleopatra was married to her brother, as royal siblings often were, but the political situation soon became complicated. Cleopatra was a strong-willed and intelligent ruler, whereas Ptolemy XIII was under the influence of his advisors, who sought to undermine her. As a result, Cleopatra found herself in conflict with her brother's faction. This tension would set the stage for Cleopatra's first major political maneuver and her eventual rise to power. 2. Cleopatra's first alliance with Julius Caesar. The political instability in Egypt, combined with Cleopatra's ambition to solidify her position, led to her decision to seek Roman support. In 48 BC, Julius Caesar, who had recently become involved in a civil war in Rome, arrived in Egypt pursuing Pompey, his political rival. Upon his arrival in Alexandria, Caesar was presented with the case of the young Ptolemy XIII, who had been driven out of power by Cleopatra. Cleopatra, however, saw an opportunity to appeal directly to Caesar. In one of the most famous episodes in history, Cleopatra had herself smuggled into Caesar's palace in a carpet or a sack, depending on the version of the story. Once she was presented to Caesar, the two reportedly struck up a conversation that led to a political alliance, but also a passionate love affair. Caesar, impressed by Cleopatra's intelligence, political astuteness, and beauty, offered his support to help her regain the throne. This partnership was not just a romantic one. It was a calculated political move by Cleopatra. She knew that aligning herself with one of Rome's most powerful leaders could secure her position as Egypt's queen. Caesar, on the other hand, was eager to have an ally in Egypt, a wealthy and strategically important kingdom, as he sought to consolidate his power in Rome. The alliance between Cleopatra and Caesar resulted in the defeat of Ptolemy XIII's forces. After a brief but intense civil war, Cleopatra was restored to the throne in 47 BC, and she co-ruled Egypt with her younger brother, Ptolemy XIV. However, Cleopatra quickly had Ptolemy XIV poisoned and replaced him with her son, Caesarion, whom she claimed was Caesar's child. This move solidified her rule and ensured her connection to Caesar through her son. Cleopatra's relationship with Julius Caesar made her a controversial figure, particularly in Rome. Caesar's affair with Cleopatra angered many Romans, and when Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC, Cleopatra found herself once again navigating a shifting political landscape.